Clap.
Well done.
That was a beautiful clap.
Practice for years to get that clap.
That's what she said. All right. Hello and welcome to the Red Dragon Inn. I am your host, Brad, joined.
I'm Bob.
Derek?
All right, today this is Across the Table episode 4, and we're going to do something a little different today, inspired by another show, another podcast that I've listened to a lot. I'm going to give a shout out to them real quick, the RPG Academy. Check them out on YouTube as well as their weekly podcast. My friend Michael on that show does something he calls a synergy session. So a synergy session, what he does is he takes a pack of magic cards, preferably a core set type pack, which is the most generic type pack that you can get, and he will go through and build basically a D&D adventure / campaign based on what the cards are. And I've always thought this is a fascinating idea, and I've always wanted to try it for myself. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take this pack of magic cards, and there really isn't any hard and fast rules. What we're going to do is divide this pack up, 5 cards each, and using any aspect of the cards, one at a time, we're going to introduce new story elements. Could be the artwork, could be the mechanics of the card, could be the flavor text, the name, any type of aspect. But, we're going to do our best here in this video to take this pack of magic cards and, if you got writer's block, you can't think of a campaign, you can't think of a one-shot, this is a really cool thing that you can do to just be like, I need an adventure idea for next week. I have no idea what to do. This is just a neat idea. Spend $4, grab yourself a pack of magic cards, and see what you come up with. So, and again, the core sets are best to do this with because they are the most generic. Once you start getting into the expansion sets, they could work just fine. Just keep in mind that if you use an expansion set, they're going to be probably mostly themed towards a specific idea. So don't buy a pack of Kaladesh if you don't want to play a desert adventure, etc. So we're going to tear this open.
Well, it's good to know that you don't even have to know anything about magic, like you said. You're just pulling any information off of the card whatsoever.
Anything you want to. So we have a soldier token. So we're going to throw that soldier token in the middle. We'll go ahead and use him if we need to. And that's 15. So my first card is the Ferocious Pup. This is a creature, which is a wolf. He's a 0/1, enters the battlefield, and creates... you create a 2/2 wolf creature token when he enters the battlefield. So apparently when you play the pup, the mother shows up. The flavor text is the strongest pack has the fiercest pups. So yeah, a nice picture of the mother wolf and a ferocious looking wolf cub. So since this is the first card, I don't have a whole lot to add to it. Everything about the card is just a pack of wolves and a ferocious pup. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that this adventure is going to start in a forest, and the first encounter is going to be a mother wolf guarding her pup, which maybe it's injured, maybe we'll see what happens later. But so as this adventure starts, we're in a forest, and we have a mother wolf guarding her pup, who is very aggressive.
All right. The Rule of Law. It's an enchantment. Players can't cast more than one spell per turn.
That card is so annoying.
All right, I'll say based off of this, it's going to give our player characters a dilemma, because almost kind of like a Sherwood Forest, we're in the King's Lands. wolves are you can make the wolf a protected animal. So what is the character's going to do? Do you fight the wolf, knowing that the rule of law prevents you from killing the king's, like it's maybe it's part of the herald.
How do you negotiate with a wolf protecting their pup?
Right, yeah, I know this is it becomes a dilemma. The party has been caught, like whether it's they were accused or whatever, but they were spotted somehow, and they are being blamed for basically breaking the law. They are being blamed for killing a king's animal.
All right.
Okay. And I have Anticipate. It's difficult to really do much with a card that's an instant in this case.
Well, what's the flavor text?
The flavor text
You can use
is
the picture too.
divining the future is easy when you hold power to sway it. So I guess the card mechanics are to look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So perhaps the party needs to seek out a diviner to prove their innocence. So they have been caught.
So they have to go quest to find the seer. now.
Right.
Right. So in order to prove their innocence, they
Or
are
to trick the courts into thinking they are innocent.
either or. Okay. Fair enough. It's me now, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, another blue card. The Cloudkin Seer. Of course. Flying. They enter the battlefield. You draw a card. I can see which way the wind is blowing. So obviously, at the end of their quest, this character, which we'll see from the artwork that Derek will put up, is who they were seeking. So we apparently jumped right to that quest.
Yeah, this is almost like the end of Act 1.
Yeah, it was like we jumped right to that quest. We didn't spend a whole lot of time finding this seer they were seeking out.
They were like,
oh yeah, she's right over there. Yeah. So this is a flying creature. So apparently maybe they had to fly up into the clouds as players, and whatever clues they unlocked allowed them to get to this seer. And this is the seer that will probably prove their innocence.
Do you think this would be a good time to maybe use this token soldier? The reason are to add pacing to the story. Maybe there's a chase scene or something to get to the seer.
I mean, sure, of course. I was kind of just assuming the soldier was who caught us to start with, and
Well, it could be the same soldier. This is our recurring villain.
Okay, sure, that sounds good.
Right.
And yeah,
It's the Sheriff of Nottingham, if you will.
we'll just see where the story goes from here. Maybe finding the seer wasn't the main object of the quest, and that was actually the easy part, and it's going to develop from there. We have plenty of cards left, so we'll see.
All right, this is Saphara Sky's Blade. It's a legendary creature.
Is that
It's an
there
angel.
blue?
No, it's
Okay, no, it's
a
white.
black.
Okay.
No, it's
It's an angel.
angel.
Ooh, okay.
The quest that the seer needs is that she wants the party to go get before
Before
seer
she'll help us.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the card, the artwork itself, she wants one of Saphara's sky blades. You see, she's surrounded by a bunch of swords.
Okay.
So she
Okay.
sends them out on a quest.
Interesting. All right.
And I have Unholy Indenture, which is an enchantment. When enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under your control with the +1/+1 counter. The flavor text is, don't think of it as selling your soul. It's more like you're bequeathing it to me.
Interesting.
So, I mean, it seems obvious as part of the quest, you have to take a journey to the underworld.
Okay. Interesting. So we have Saphara's quest for a blade, and we have that involves going to the underworld. I'm just recapping for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the Lavakin Brawler, our first red card, an elemental warrior. They get bonus to attack for other elementals. She swings with the ease of flowing lava and hits with the force of a meteor. So, of course, while you're in the underworld, apparently this is just going to be our big bad. that we're gonna fight in order to get the blade. So while we're deep in the underworld, we come upon a molten core of the earth, full of lava, and this badass looking lava elemental is going to be our boss fight in order to secure the blade.
All right. Creeping Trailblazer. It is a forest fire creature. Let's see. It's an elemental. Creeping Trailblazer it's a boost. Gives you +1/+1. The destruction of a wildfire with the tenacity of a jungle vine. So after the boss fight, the reason why
our lava.
No,
Take a look at our lava chick.
Yep. She was actually holding Saphara in the underworld.
Okay.
The angel was captured. But Saphara at this point is just too weak to really help, so you're trying to help her escape through the underworld. The path that the group takes would lead you to kind of where the underworld will start to meet with the prime material plane, if you will.
Okay.
So you're going to have lots of where fire meets earth type elements. And you are going to have to try to avoid, because again, with Saphara being so injured, you're going to have to avoid these kind of elemental hazards.
Okay.
Fair
enough.
Yep.
Okay, now I have bone splinters. This just destroys another creature. The flavor text is, "I will make your bones into a weapon that will lay even the mighty low." I think when they get to the entrance to the underworld, or the exit in this case, it's surrounded by a bunch of bones from various creatures that have gone to the underworld. You'll need to use these bones in creative ways to fend off the things that are chasing you to the exit of the underworld.
Interesting.
I think it's more along the lines of you need to, like a puzzle, you need to place bones in a certain configuration to not only unlock the door, but also to trap the denizens of the underworld that are chasing you.
Okay. So you're kind of creating a ward and also unlocking the door at the same time.
Yep.
Very cool. So now we're exiting the underworld, assuming that was completed. And let's see what I get. I have a Silverback Shaman, which is an ape creature with trample. It lets you draw a card if he dies. The apes of Yavimaya draw strength from the spirits of their ancestors. So this is going to be, I guess, after we've escaped the underworld and finished that quest. We are now back in the forest, probably back seeking out our original quest, and this is just going to be one of our encounters. So maybe the Silverback Shaman initially seems to be an opponent, but actually it's a wise creature of the forest that they can seek advice from. Depending on how they handle the encounter, he's a formidable opponent, but he also holds good information if they treat the encounter properly.
All right. Following that up with Might of the Masses, it's an instant. It just buffs creatures with a +1 to the end of the turn. Let's see. The Jagora Elves never need ask a troll to leave their territory. They merely grant it their combined strength, and it can't resist embarking on a merry rampage. So, basically going with off of your... He's the shaman, the ape shaman. He's actually more of a leader. There's actually an entire tribe there. He has the might of the masses on his side. Probably more than likely, again, if the players are smart, the fact that they have an angel, which is normally going to be good aligned, might help sway. Mm-hmm. But basically they're going to be taken before him and stuff like that, and it's going to be... it doesn't necessarily have to be an entire like Planet of the Apes type of scenario, but he is at least the figurehead. So they have to go through his army
if they don't resolve it peacefully.
If they don't resolve it peacefully, yeah.
Right.
Right, and I have Bone-Clad Necromancer.
Ooh.
It's a human wizard that brings a zombie with him when he comes into play. Living or dead, everyone responds to the proper motivation. So I think that this is going to be actually a necromancer that was trying to create undead, and now he's trying to make good on creating these greater undead. So he confronts the party in the forest, or perhaps just after they leave the forest, if it's a positive encounter. So if they avoid the massive ape army, they instead have to fight a necromancer with his hordes of undead.
So it's a neat parallel that, depending on how this encounter goes, we have two different ways we could go from there.
If it's a peaceful encounter with the ancient silverback, then the army of apes aid them in fighting against the necromancer.
Right, okay. Well, I have a goblin smuggler. A little strange. I got haste. Another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked. I am but a humble traveler. I have no taste for sneakery, nor thieviness. So this goblin smuggler is not looking for a fight. Instead, more of like a random encounter. He's like
maybe he steals the blade, Safar's blade.
He seems like a video game.
He can help get them back to where they need to go.
Seems like a video game character that you run into that is just selling convenient things you need in the middle of the adventure, based on his flavor text and his picture. So yeah, I would say that regardless of how the silverback encounter goes, this goblin smuggler has something that is the key to defeating the necromancer. Or it even could be that he was aligned with the necromancer but against his will. So he's like, hey, you want to beat the necromancer? This is what could help out. Just free me afterwards type stuff.
Right, lots of neat ideas. Is that the one you're going with?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Well, Scoured Barrens comes into the battlefield tapped. When you enter the battlefield, you gain 1 life. So if you looking at the picture, this is going to be the barren wasteland you have to travel to get to the necromancers. So it's more of an environmental hazard than anything. It's leading to the climax, the fight.
Against the Bone-Clad Necromancer?
Yeah, if that's the way it goes.
That seems like that's going to be our finale with only 1 card left. Is going to be this necromancer fight. So,
but maybe at this point with the gaining 1 life, maybe Safara is starting to finally heal, so she might be able to aid. She's getting healthy, and as an angel, she would not stand for necromancy.
Okay.
Likely.
Yeah, more than likely.
All right, tie it all together, Rob. Hopefully it's good.
Inspiring Captain. It is a human knight. When Inspiring Captain enters the battlefield, other creatures get stronger. So I think the Bone-Clad Necromancer is going to be a little overtuned for the party. And I think the soldier that initially caught you in the forest, breaking the rule of law, and who chased you to the seer, returns with an army because
you've been proven innocent now, and now he's going to help us rise up against the real threat.
And we find out that Safara's blade is a positive energy blade that must be used to destroy the Bone-Clad Necromancer.
See, the seer knew that the entire time. That's why she sent us on this quest.
Right, but she didn't come out and tell us, because no one comes out and tells you the real reason. It's got to be cryptic.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, that is a lot of work you had to do just because you killed a deer.
Right. So, I mean, please, comment below. What
do you think about the idea?
What would you done differently with these cards, and what do you think of the idea? Like I said, I've been watching him do these videos. He's done a dozen of them or so. He's done them on Twitch. He's done them on YouTube. And I wanted to try it myself, and I'd love to continue to try more of these. So
yeah, it was kind of. I think this one came together all right because, like, if it would have went south, this might have been our one and only.
I mean, this always, runs the risk of just being bonkers and going off the rails. But I mean, I feel like you could usually use some aspect of the card to bring it back around. And like I said, I love this idea. It gives me an excuse to buy Magic cards to sell later. And I want to continue to do this. But so yeah, please comment below. What would you have done differently? Do you like this style video? Have you ever tried this? Has it ever worked? Have you ever done it on the fly? I mean, technically you could just do this
one card at
a time as you're playing, and the DM doesn't even know what's going to happen. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this and explore. And I wish I wish we'd have bought some more Magic today because I want to do another one.
It was a lot of fun.
So yeah, we're until next time. Let us know in the comments, and until then,
we really need an outro.
Outro.